What's up, fellas? It's Colt Morris with Coyote Academy, and I was sitting here thinking, what's the best way to check traps? What's the best mode of transportation? And when we're checking traps, or when we're thinking about checking traps and running a canine line, the big three that stick out to me are using a vehicle, whether that being a truck or SUV, whatever you have available, having a ATV and a UTV, but then you have to use it with your truck or with your SUV, and then you have the parking your truck or parking your car and getting out and checking traps on foot. And those are the big three that I can think of just right offhand, and I would love to know kind of what you guys do, or what's your mode of transportation when you're on the line. So if you just want to leave a comment down below, I'd love to hear from you guys and get some discussion going.
Well, off to a slow start. This morning. But we got one. He's trying to hide from me. Possum. Oh, and another possum. Damn. Like I said, not the triple I deserve. Huh. It's a little windy out, but nice little double. Really didn't want to catch the fox, but I take what I can get.
Whenever I think about my trap line, or I would picture myself running my traps a few years ago, I thought, there's only one way that I can do it, and it's going to be using a truck and carrying an ATV or UTV on a trailer behind it, because that's how I started out and that's how I had my success. Now, obviously, I started out in my younger years trapping off foot, or having someone like one of my parents or my brother drive me to a place, and then I would have to get out and walk for the trap line. It never really occurred to me that it was possible to trap out of a truck, because I always heard everyone say, well, you can't trap out of a truck. It's damn near impossible to do that in Ohio. And I understand a lot of guys do it out west, and when I say west, I guess west of me, talking about Texas or Kansas, Oklahoma. In the Midwest, we have freeze thaw, we have inches of rain, and then you could have inches of snow. So the one issue I always thought of with a truck was access. How many miles am I going to have to drive to catch a certain number of canine or whatever the fur bearer that I'm trying to go after? And then potentially, if I try and risk it and go out into a field or to go down a farm lane and it's a little too soupy from where there's maybe too much moisture, am I going to rut up the property, or am I going to get stuck and then have to contact the landowner to have them pull me out? So that was something that was always a concern of mine. Now, this past year, I did it all out of a truck, and it was phenomenal. I also had phenomenal weather, and it worked to a T for my system. But I ended up driving more miles per day than I did when I trapped out of a truck and a trailer with an ATV. Now, mind you, I hit my goal a lot sooner when I was in a truck as compared to when I was in the truck and trailer. It took me a lot longer time to hit that goal. So yes, I might have only been driving, say, 100 miles with the truck and trailer, and I was driving 200 miles a day with just the truck, but I did I caught 100 coyotes in around 2 weeks with just out of the truck, as opposed to around 6 to 7 weeks out of the truck and trailer. So I guess if you think about it that way, maybe it was more beneficial to just be out of a truck. Now the one that is the obvious is parking your truck, walking a couple hundred yards on foot, and checking your traps. Well, the issue there lies time. How much can you cover? Yeah, you can get good access, but I think a lot of times guys run into that issue because either they don't want to ask the property owner if they can drive in their field if it's dry, or if it's, decent out, or they don't know if there's an access road on the property. And that comes back to scouting, doing your due diligence and scouting preseason or a week or so before you go out. With the ATV line, I ran that and I did phenomenal with it. And I never really had any issues other than needing a trailer, needing to have replacements for your trailer. So, tires, and what if my gate breaks on my trailer? What if I forget to hook up properly? Or what if I forget to latch the gate? Or if I don't secure the four-wheeler on the trailer properly? And I thoroughly enjoyed trapping out of a truck and trailer, but I also thoroughly enjoy the comfort of the cab of my truck. So I don't have to worry about the elements. I'm just driving straight up to sets, and the comfort of my truck with either my AC on or my heat, whatever it may be that day, as opposed to it's 20 degrees out and I have to drive a mile or a half mile to go get back to this property so I can check my traps. And then I have to make sure my ATV always has gas, or what if I have breakdowns with my ATV, UTV. So those are always things to think about. And yeah, what if it does break down? Do you have another one? Well, you have to think of that too with your truck. What if your truck breaks down? Do you have something to work with there? So there's so many different variables, and I can't say which one is the best, but I can say I have been able to catch over 100 coyotes in Ohio with a truck and a trailer, and just with a truck. I've never been able to do it just with a truck and then maybe walking a couple properties. I've been able to catch enough to have decent numbers and decent production for managing the predators or the such on certain properties. But if I was to say, out of my own experience, I would much rather just trap out of a truck. I felt like, yes, I had to drive the extra miles. Yes, I was spending more time on the road, but I was able to get to fresh faces on new places and not have to worry about certain issues that I might if I'm on a truck, trailer, ATV setup. So getting back to the point is, I think there's so many variables that go into your situation individually, or your area of what you trap in, whether that being Tennessee up to Maine, down to Louisiana, or over to Kansas, or up to South Dakota, North Dakota. It definitely is going to change per individual and per their preference. But here in the Midwest, Eastern Midwest, I would highly recommend, if you can run a truck line, that is my go-to, my favorite way to operate now. And I don't think that I'm going to look back from that. But I will always have the ATV as a plan B if I ever need to get into certain situations or certain properties where I have to bring that out of retirement and start running traps that way. So with that being said, I really enjoy doing these videos, and I really enjoy trying to share some knowledge that I have, or the experiences that I've kind of gathered over the years. Who am I? I'm just a regular guy that just out trying to trap and share the knowledge that I think everyone should be able to have at their fingertips. And with social media and with this platform, I think it does a very good job at doing that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Well, doing a little trapping. Looks like we got one. can get them. All right, guys. Out here trapping, catching a few coyotes. I have some more traps right down there at that big brush pile. We'll go check them out here in a second. I'll get this one taken care of.
Check day 1 is in the books. I had stated previously that I went out and preset a lot of sets, and then yesterday was my first set day, and I ended up getting the majority of them set. I wanted to get as many as I could set, and today was a pretty successful day. I think that work paid off, and ended up catching 10 today, so 9 coyotes. I had a red fox, I released it, and caught a few coon, a few possums, caught a buzzard that I released, and there were a few traps that were snapped off. They looked like they were deer snaps, no circle or anything, just a straight, and I wouldn't think it'd be a shoulder roll or anything, but had a couple doubles today. It was a good day, and I look forward to tomorrow. Got some more sets put in today, and we'll be bright and bushy-tailed tomorrow, and we'll see if we can't put up some more numbers. All right, guys, pulling into the house, so I'll talk to y'all later.